You know that feeling when you're praying and it just feels like your words are, I don't know, just hitting the ceiling? Well, in this explainer, we're going to look at the teachings of Bishop David Oyedepo and pull out two key links that can turn your prayer life around. We're talking about shifting from just speaking words to getting real, actual results. So let's just ask the big question right up front, one that I think a lot of us have wrestled with. We know how to pray, right? We've been taught the motions. But when nothing seems to happen, it's so easy to just feel like, what's the point? You start wondering, am I doing this wrong? Is anyone even up there listening? Okay, and this quote right here, it gets straight to the point. The whole idea is this: we serve a God who answers prayer, not a God who just, collects them. So if there's a disconnect, if our prayers feel like they're going into a void, the answer isn't always to just pray harder or longer. No, we need to look at the quality of the connection itself. All right, so let's get into the first link. What's the first step to building that quality connection? It's pretty simple, actually. It's all about moving prayer from just being something you say to something you truly feel, from your mouth to your heart. This is so important. It's a foundational principle, really. Heaven isn't listening for how fancy our words are, It's not about being eloquent. It's listening for the sincerity of our heart. The connection has to happen there first, in your heart, before the words even come out. And look at this comparison. It lays it out so clearly. On one side, you have Isaiah talking about people who draw near with their mouth, but their heart is way off somewhere else. That's mouth-only prayer. But then, and what's really interesting is it's the same chapter and verse number, 29:13, Jeremiah gives us the secret. He says, you'll find God when you search for him with all your heart. That's the one that gets a response. So that's the bottom line right there. To put it as simply as possible, engage your heart. That's the master key. It's not about having perfect grammar or saying all the right things. It's about that real, genuine connection, spirit to spirit. And here's a perfect example of this in action. This powerful instruction didn't come from just some casual, hey God, what should I do kind of prayer. No, this was the result of a deep, heart-engaged search for direction way back in 1983. The clarity came because the focus was 100% on God, not on looking to people for help. Okay, that's the first link. Now let's move on to the second one, which really builds on top of this foundation of the heart. This one is described as a kind of forgotten mystery, a spiritual tool that unlocks a whole other level of power. So what exactly is praying in the Spirit? Well, Romans 8:26 gives us a great definition. It's basically when we let the Holy Ghost step in and help us pray. Think about those times when you know something's wrong, you feel the weight of it, but you just don't have all the information. You don't know what to ask for. That's where this divine assistance comes in to help with our human limits. And this is why this is such a game changer. Have you ever been there? You know something is off, you can feel the attack, the pressure, but you just can't put your finger on where it's coming from. You try to pray, but you don't even have the right words because you don't fully understand the situation. We've all been there. Well, that is exactly when praying in the Spirit is so crucial. It connects you to what are called divine power channels, basically bypassing your own limited knowledge. It helps when you literally don't know what to say. And as you pray this way, it actually builds up your faith, and you open up this incredible line of communication. And I just love this way of explaining it. Think of it like having an encrypted line to God, a totally secure channel. When you pray in the Spirit, no demonic force can tap the line. They can't intercept the message. They can't even understand it because they don't have the decryption key. It's your own private, protected line straight to heaven. And listen, this is not just some nice theory. There's this incredible testimony about a woman who just started praying in the Spirit, speaking in tongues. And miles away from her, that prayer unleashed actual, raw power. Ritual killers just fell down, completely out of it, and 17 of their captives just got up and walked to freedom. That is power. Okay, so we've talked about these two incredibly powerful links, the heart and the Spirit. How do we actually put this all together? Well, it breaks down into a really simple two-step approach you can literally start using right now. It really just boils down to this. Step 1, engage your heart. First and always. Make sure it's real, it's sincere, it's coming from deep within you, not just from your lips. And then step 2, pray in the Spirit. When you run out of your own words or you never had them to begin with, Just switch gears. Switch over to that encrypted prayer line and let the Holy Ghost take over.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Are you ready to stop just stirring prayer, as they say, and start actually getting answers? The power is right there, available to you. And these two links, well, they're the keys to the kingdom. It's time to use them.